People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is my first time doing an interview using Zoom, so let's hope it works out all right. You never know. And normally I introduce the guest by name, but this time I'm not going to because I'm going to let him explain. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, the reason why
Good.
I didn't introduce your name, because you said you recently changed your name.
Correct. So I recently changed my name to Oye Jide, and that's my actual birth name, and it's from Nigeria. In Nigeria, we usually put Oye or Ola before a name, which is like the pronoun, and then our name. And my name is first grandchild to the granddad in Nigeria. So I had changed my name for one reason, and that's because I wanted to change it back to the name that I was born with, because that's my power, giving my power back, basically. And
Okay. But what was the other name you were going by?
My other name I was going by was JJ. I changed it to JJ.
Oh, okay.
And the reason being was because in high school, I had been ridiculed and bullied throughout, not just high school, but middle school for my name. And people didn't really give me the respect that I deserved to be called by my actual name. So I had changed it for the sake of being teased and bullied for my name.
Yeah, that's so unfair. I hate bullying, but I'm glad you're beyond that at this point. So
Yeah.
I just want to let the audience know that we actually met during the taping of the video. So did you want to talk about the video?
Yeah. So the video was run by Dr. Carin Bondar at UFB, and it was a video to enlighten the general public about climate change, a big issue in today's society.
How did you get involved in it?
So I'm a UFB student. I've been there for quite a while now, so I'm getting used to the faculty and staff. And there was an email sent out to all science and all students really at UFB saying there's a climate change video out there, and if you'd like to try out, that you can. And so I did, and yeah, I got the part. So I was very happy, and I met you there.
Yeah, it was fun. I happen to know Karen. I'm a friend of Karen. So when she said she was looking for help, so I was like, yeah, and I don't care whether in front of the camera or behind the camera. It doesn't matter for me when it comes to volunteering. So
Exactly.
I was happy to help out. So now you're a student.
Yeah.
What you're taking? Or wait a minute, before we get to that, like what's happening currently because of the pandemic? Are you able to still do your studies?
Yeah, very, very good question. At the beginning of the pandemic, as everyone else, it was just absolutely crazy. Like no one knew what was going on. We had to move to online. We had missed a week kind of in classes because we didn't really know what was going on. But now things have kind of figured itself out. We're all doing online classes, so everything's run through Blackboard or Zoom meetings. And depending on the class, they're either synchronous or asynchronous. So you have to either follow the guidelines or not of the class timetable. And in the fall, they've come out with a plan to do part in class and part out of class, so online. Yeah.
Okay, so since you've been doing it on Zoom, you know more about Zoom than I do. So what are you studying, and what is your ultimate career choice going to be?
So right now I am studying Bachelor's of Science. So I'm doing a major in biology and a minor in sociology. And my overall goal is to become a doctor, actually. So,
what kind of doctor? Like a general practitioner, or are you going to...
I wanted to actually go into geriatrics just for my love of the elderly. I've been working with the elderly for so many years during volunteer experience, and just getting to know them. I used to live next to, I call him my grandpa. We've just gotten so close. So I love geriatric patients, and I love people of the elderly. I just learned so much from them. So I think that's definitely a field I want to get into.
Very good. Now, in the information you sent me, you said you were participating currently in the movement of the BLM. What is BLM?
So BLM is the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah. So in light of all the issues that are going down in the South and a few issues that are going on up here in Canada, I've been quite heavily outspoken when it comes to inclusion, diversity, and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I just really, I feel like as a person of color, we call it BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. I feel like it's my duty as an individual to really speak up and be the forefront of the movement.
I'm glad you're doing that. And one of the reasons is because I think a lot of Canadians believe there's no prejudice here,
Yes,
you know.
that's the issue.
And I personally know otherwise, but I'm glad you're speaking out, and I think that's really awesome. Now, you have, let's see, I'm just, again, you mentioned working with the volunteering with the geriatrics for 6 years, which is really
Mhm.
good. You have lots of love for volunteering.
Yes, yeah.
Anything else you're volunteering for?
Yeah, I also volunteer for that had been actually messed up because of COVID again is Special Olympics British Columbia. So I work with people of all ages that have either physical and or mental disability. And basically Special Olympics is there to help with inclusion of people of that category. And I absolutely love it. It just brings so much joy to my life. And I show up and it just makes my entire day. So yeah, that's another big thing that I do for volunteering when it comes to inclusion.
Right. I just want to talk about your background a little bit, your ethnicity.
Yes.
You know the word I'm trying to get out there. Sometimes I have a little trouble.
Yeah.
Your mom was from the UK,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And your dad from Nigeria.
Yes.
Have you been to Nigeria?
I have actually. I've been about like 8 times now. So I've been quite a few times. It's a huge culture shock. So I think that's what allows me to have another point of view in life, in that I can see the difference between so-called Western world and the African style. But it is one thing that I do definitely want to say is that it's kind of misconceived in the Western world how Africa is, because we always portray it as being a nation of poor and
Right.
the needy. But in actuality, there's some places in Africa, especially in Nigeria, that are actually almost even more better off than in Abbotsford. So that is another thing that I also like to spread around to in classes and all that, that there is another narrative and that we don't normally get to see that narrative. So that I definitely love going to Nigeria.
That's interesting. You're right. We don't know a lot,
Yeah.
unfortunately. If we don't travel, like I personally love to travel, and I would do it more if I could afford it. But most people don't travel, and they sort of just know what they see, what they hear in
Yeah,
the news, basically,
exactly.
right? Okay, so now I know you lived in Moose Jaw at one time.
Oh, I did.
What was that like for you?
So Moose Jaw was very, as everyone should know, is that it's a small town. It has one grocery store, one gas station. That's it. So it was a big cult. It's another, like I said, it's something that is added to my upbringing. It allowed me to kind of learn. Moose Jaw was kind of a Canadian town, so it kind of gave me a learning curve of how it is to be Canadian and to know everyone in the community and to get to know everyone.
Right.
And again, there was a big elderly population there, old farmers, things like that. And I think that also kind of enlightened me in wanting to go into the geriatric field, and that I've always been surrounded by the elderly, and they know so much, and especially in Saskatchewan, where they know the ways of the land, they know the traditional knowledge. So again, I think that's another big part of my upbringing.
Right. Now, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do. I have 2. I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
So are they good pursuing the same type of career that you are?
My brother is studying general sciences right now, and my sister is in high school. She's totally the complete opposite of me. I'm a total science nerd in the books, and my sister loves art and loves music and loves all this different sorts of stuff. So I totally support her on it, and she's definitely going to do well in what she does.
Right. But
Yeah.
you also have because creative bent, because you talked in your message about creating projects at UFV.
Yes. Yes, actually, that's a big point. I forgot about that. I've been as UFV. I've always wanted to be involved, so I've gotten involved in various clubs and associations on campus. So one of the ones I started with was CKI, which is the Kiwanis. It's a branch of Kiwanis Club. We're a service club. So I've always had to use my creativity to create different projects and volunteering stations for that. And I'm a part of currently UFV West, which is a brand new club and association at UFV. It's for women in engineering, science, technology. So I'm the secretary of that group, and I'm the male outreach. So we're always coming up with creative ways of of creating new and inclusive programs for students and faculty on campus.
Awesome. Well, we're just about out of time. I appreciate you reaching out to do this with me. That's really good. Thank you so much for that.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
And we'll have to keep in touch and see what's happening in the future. Anytime you have something interesting that you think you want to put out there, just contact me, okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I thank you talking to me.
All right. You're welcome. And thank you, audience. I hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.
Who are you?